we have a business, we have three businesses really. We have a consumer health business, which is things that sell directly to people when people want them. We have a pharmaceutical business that sell through physicians to people who are the end ultimate users, but paid by different groups. So you've got kind of a healthcare scenario there where you've got value creation in whose eyes, and it's not a direct kind of like a consumer product. You go and you buy toothpaste, you want that toothpaste, and it delivers something to you. And then you have a vaccine business that focuses on more public health and government kind of purchases. So I think one concept is in healthcare, unlike in a business, you have a fairly disparate and competing interests that are defining your value, and therefore you can't align process, and you can't align some of the things that you can in an innovation company. But even in an innovation company like ours, we've had a funk in the past 15 years where R&D productivity across big pharma, not the fast-moving consumer goods, they innovate very quickly and because they have amazing consumer insight. In a pharma, you have regulatory issues, but you also have complex consumer insight, who's the end ultimate patient, provider, or payer, and those are the kind of issues that the pharma business has to. But I think one of the things that we found before we launched a new model of innovation is that big pharma was getting too big, and this may be some of the issues in healthcare, that you lose autonomy. So autonomy is clearly a...
Who loses autonomy?
The groups that are innovating.
Right.
And autonomy is one of the key drivers of innovation in a brand company. You lose, and you don't have all the kind of discovery collaboration, and you don't have aligned incentives. So you created organizations that are so big and become so bureaucratic that they get bonused like everyone else. And so a person who's leading a manufacturing part of the business and a scientist are really getting the same bonus for what they're doing. So we actually looked at different models and embedded a 7 biotech kind of model within the business and set up more autonomy, investment boards. So you have actually alignment of incentives. And I think the alignment of incentives also is another area probably in the healthcare where you have actually incentives that are disaligned and in dissonance as opposed to resonating with each other. And then you have a flexible organization that allows you to do that. And a lot of times what I see in healthcare organizations, they don't actually have flexible organizations per se. So I think those are how you actually innovate in a company. And then you look at the healthcare and you say, well, what's different about that in the healthcare? You have regulation, like we have in terms of the pharma business. Do you have the consumer insight, patient-centered kind of insights? Do you have the aligned interests and the lack of complexity that having all those different interests going different directions make on the ultimate process of creation and embedding that new idea and that change? So I think those are things that I see that are a bit different from one, and maybe like in Europe where they do have aligned interests, they have standardized designs, they have standardized systems. It is a lot easier to make change and to generate an innovative idea.